and we are ready to play. It is another episode of Monday Motivation. This is Coach Lou saying good morning to you. It's going to be a great week, guys, because we're going to kick it off this week as promised with our session on strategic planning. Just so you know, good morning, honey. Just so you know, on the website, on our Monday morning blog, on our Monday Motivation blog, we have the whole series starting with Motivation 101 on down. So if you're just starting to join us on this program, good idea would be to go to the blog. You can watch today's, but there's going to be a lot of things that we've touched on, elements that make today happen, starting from the beginning. So go there and run yourself through this little mini course in motivation and get ready to step up into a journey of who you are, what you're all about, and best off, step up and start living the life you deserve. There's so many facets and so many aspects to it. Everything we've gone to from the power of why on up that builds up to what we're talking about today. Today is a piece in the toolbox of motivation, of life, of stepping up. So we are going to talk a lot about, it's going to sound a little bit businessy this morning. So keep that in mind that is strategic planning is often used in business, but you can use it in your family life, school, whatever stage of life you're at and wherever you're at. Be ready to jump in and rock and roll here with me. You with me on this morning? All right, let's jump right into the training so that you can get to work, get ready to go, and then get to your computer and watch the full training video, which that post will be available after 9 a.m. this morning with the full training video and the replay of this in case you missed this. So we definitely want to make sure that everybody's getting the opportunity to jump into these. All right, so with no more further ado, let's start it out here. Strategic planning is the way to keep your focus on the outcome and get there in the fastest, most fulfilling fashion. That's really what strategic planning is in a nutshell. So we're going to have 4 steps to this. I'm going to hit them quick this morning, get you on the road and get you going. Number 1 step is having that specific outcome, and I think we hear this in a lot of what we talk about in coaching, is knowing exactly what you're after, a specific outcome, a specific effect on you or others around you, not just necessarily a thing goal, if that makes sense. It's got to be very specific, needs to be quantifiable, needs to be achievable. Now, I don't say use that as an excuse and say, oh, it's not achievable because it's too hard. I use an example in the training video of you want to go to the moon. It is achievable. You can make enough money to pay somebody to fly you to the moon. That is absolutely doable. They're doing it now. There's space travel you can pay for, so it is achievable. If you say I want to go to the moon by jumping on my rebounder in the morning and I'm going to jump high enough to fly through the sky and go to the moon, that's probably not achievable. That doesn't make sense because it just simply is something that physically can't happen. Now, if you say I want to, bench press 400 pounds, that could happen. Is it going to happen tomorrow? No, but you could build up to something like that. If you say I want to bench press 8,000 pounds, yeah, I'm sorry, but that is one that's just not happening. Okay, so you got some logistics there, so keep that in mind, but don't let it limit you. Okay, make sure it's sustainable. Once you hit this goal and you set a lifestyle, make sure it's sustainable. You could go on a weight loss diet and starve yourself for a week, and you're going to lose an amazing amount of weight in that first week. But then what? You're probably going to gain it back the minute you start eating again. So it's got to be sustainable. You'd be better off losing a pound or 2 a week for 50 weeks, and that you can sustain into a lifestyle rather than trying to lose 50 pounds in 2 weeks or 50 pounds in a month, which probably is doable. We could take a chainsaw and chop off a limb. We can lose 50 pounds, take a leg off. You can lose it in an hour. But that's not sustainable. You with me on that? And make sure all in all driven, the specific outcome is by the power of why. Why are you doing this? Is it compelling enough to make you go, this is totally exciting, this totally juices me, this is going to give me that emotional endurance to break through and keep going even when shit isn't that easy. You with me on this? And I know some of these terms, emotional endurance, and that if you have been following along, you're on board. You're going, I know what emotional endurance is. If this is your first time out with us, please go back and watch these other training videos and these other live replays so that you got all these tools. Let's do this. Number 2, the plan. You've got to plan for it. Make a plan, guys, but not just a to-do list. There's a big difference. Start out with a specific mission statement. Back to the power of why. Why am I doing this? What's it going to give me? What am I after? Time frame. You might say, I want to do something. I want to make $1 million. And if it's going to take you 1,000,000 years, you're not going anywhere. I want to make $1 million in a year. Doable, sustainable, possibly, yes. A lot of work, yes. But that gives you your time frame. You want to do it in 2 days, you better be ready to win the lotto, or something about a deal going down in a good stock that we don't know about. But, is it doable in a year? Possibly, yes. Is it doable in 2 years? Is it doable in 10? You should ought to be able to pull down $1 million in 10 years. If not, step it up. But set that time frame. Resources. Who, what, and how. Who can help me achieve this? What do I have for resources? What tools do I have? And how can I motivate others? And how do I put all those resources together into pushing forward into making this plan happen in a timely fashion? Options. Learn how to mitigate problems and pitfalls when they come up, and try to anticipate them, but don't get negative to where you're like, oh God, yep, I'm going to have problems. That doesn't excite you, but realize stuff's going to happen. You're going to get derailed. You're going to get knocked off track once in a while. Have a plan for when that comes in. So you've got plans within plans within plans if you're going to have a successful plan. Plan sounds so effective, but it's true. It's true. You need these pieces that all fit together. Use your acceleration techniques when you do go and you're going along with your plan, and all of a sudden you do something and it wipes out 3 more to-dos that you no longer have to do because you've already exceeded that. Learn from that. Learn the patterns of acceleration. Learn and grow with that. Use it to your advantage. You with me on this? Bam. Mileposts. Mileposts are specific mini goals or outcomes. It goes right along with your timeline along the way. So if you want to make $1 million in a year, you break that down. That's over $100,000 a month. You'll get there. You're guaranteed to get there. If your first month out you're at 50 grand, you're not in trouble. You've got a pitfall, but you need to measure that. If you're at $1 million, or you're at 150,000 in the first month and $1 million's your goal for the year, guess what? What did you do to accelerate? Learn from that acceleration and create a technique from it. And I know I use finances a lot, especially with strategic planning, because it's quantifiable. It's easy to quantify. Same thing with weight loss, etc. It's easy to quantify what you're doing. So it's easy to keep track of it. Now, number 4, celebrate your wins. Learn from your shortcomings. When you win, celebrate. Keep a journal. What did you achieve? What did you learn? Who did you become as a person? How did this serve you? What did this create for you and others? If you're journaling on your shortcomings, what could you have done differently? What could you have improved on? What do you know now that you would do differently on the next project that can serve you? You're with me on this. It's pretty simple. Either celebrate your wins or learn from your outcomes, and let me tell you, or your shortcomings, and let me tell you something. If you learn, you win. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy of winning and achieving and learning and growing, and that's what this is all about, is to get you to plan to win, to take action to win, to learn and grow when you win, or when you fall a little bit short of that. You're still going to win because you're learning and growing, unless you put a negative connotation to that and you don't learn and grow in the process. But that's what this is all about. I'm going to teach you a quick technique. It's called SWOT. No, not swatting like that. It's SWOT. This is not my creation. This is something that's been around for a long time. But SWOT stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. These are basically evaluation tools for making the strategic planning work. Strength. What is my best strength? What is my highest and best use in this project, in this relationship, in this business, in this parenting thing that we call loving our children and growing great children? What is my highest and best strength? Is my highest and best strength cleaning the bathroom? Maybe it is. Maybe it's producing this video this morning. Maybe it is teaching class. Maybe it is marketing. That's different for everybody. And sometimes, let me tell you, if you're a business owner and you're listening to this to get tips about business owning, sometimes you're going to be cleaning the damn bathroom yourself, because someone's not going to show up, and your highest and best use is making sure your customers come into somewhere that's not grody. Okay? Now, is that necessarily your everyday highest and best use as your business grows? Probably not. Initially, maybe, because you really can't afford to pay somebody to do it. So these are where you set these standards up. Now, how about other strengths? How can you delegate something to somebody else's highest and best use? And how do you verse the cost of that compared to doing it yourself? And how do you make it so it's fulfilling for them as well? So how do you take somebody's strength? If somebody's a great cleaner, amen, let's get them in here. Let's keep the place clean with somebody who does that well and loves that. If your strong point's not marketing, get somebody in who loves marketing, who shows results. Bam. If in a relationship you hate to do dishes and your spouse loves to do dishes, man or woman, whichever one, let the person who loves doing that do it, because the person who hates doing it is going to resent it. Now, if you both don't like it, just mitigate out who likes it best or least. There's always somebody who likes or dislikes something at a different level. So weakness. Okay, what are my weaknesses? If I'm a procrastinator, deadlines probably aren't good for me. Let me get somebody to handle some of these things that I put off. And then on the flip side of that, who likes these projects? Who likes doing taxes and stuff like that? I don't love doing this crap. I love the metrics afterwards to see, okay, what occurred. But I don't want to do the actual metrics putting together, if that makes sense. So highest and best use there is not of my time to sit there and do spreadsheets and to do balance sheets and everything else. That is best left to our accountant, who's a very dear friend of mine. If you need a good accountant, I will send you in the right direction. But we leverage there. What is my time worth compared to his time to pay him to do the books each month? That's a no-brainer for me, because the cost of it doesn't pay for what I would generate in the amount of time it takes me. And for him, it does pay. You know why? Because he's got all the tools, all the software. He's got that knowledge. He knows what goes where. His highest and best use of his time is absolutely crunching those numbers, because what would take me hours a week may take him 1 hour a month. So what I'm paying out, and I go, wow, hourly, this is kicking butt for me. This is cool. I don't know how he can do it. He's taking 1 hour and making 10 hours worth of profit. So everybody's winning on that. My weakness is his strong point. Good stuff. All right, so we're going to go into opportunity. So opportunity is the O. What is my real outcome? What am I really after in this scenario? What do I really want? What is my real opportunity? It's not the $1 million. It's not to have a quote-unquote relationship or be a parent. It's the opportunity to serve and give and to deliver something great and know that it's helping somebody and it's helping me in return to grow, either in a relationship or as a parent or as a business person. It's the opportunity of growth with fulfillment with contribution. That's my personal one. So your opportunity may be termed differently. What is this opportunity? How does that work for others? Wow, you got a chance to contribute to them because they get to grow. They get to grow either on a financial or a growth level or both. So the opportunity who you're delegating maybe some tasks to, or part of this in the grand scheme of the project, You're winning, they're winning. Now, T, threats. Dun, 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 dun. I hear the Jaws music coming up. I should have played a little piece on the piano for you, right? It probably wouldn't be very great, but anyhow, threats. They're always going to be there. Something's going to come at you. And like we've talked about before, it may come at you when you're closest to your goal, right? It's usually most resistance is when you're the closest. It's darkest right before dawn. You've heard all the analogies to that one. You've heard my story about the phone story. If you haven't, go back through the previous trainings and look for the phone story where I talk about, just when you're ready to give up is right before you're going to have a breakthrough. So true. It's a law of coaching, a law of success. It's just part of it. So, loving the likes, guys, and the loves. I appreciate everybody this morning. So, the threats. What can stop me? What can trip me up? Really, nothing can stop you if you have the properly set up outcome. Can things trip you up in pitfalls? Absolutely. Do they make you lose? No, not if you learn from them. You learn and grow from them. You're not losing. But there are threats. There's stuff that's going to come up. There are things you're not in control of. You may go into a business. And I know I'm using business and money a lot for examples, but again, it's quantifiable. You may go into a business and not realize that government regulation is going to stop and wipe that business out 18 months from now on a bill that's going to pass that doesn't exist today. That's a threat. That's a valid threat. How you handle that and how you shift gears in your business, and you might close the doors and say, well, I can't do this anymore. Or you might take your knowledge and talent and what you built and direct it in a slightly different direction. So that's where you learn, and where you grow from it. But the threats of what can stop you, hey, you might get a great marriage going on and things are great and your spouse flies out of town for business and the plane goes down. I'm sorry, but that's a threat that you are out of control of, and something that you can't control, and it might take something away from you. And that's a tragic example, but it's truth. Or you might marry somebody and they run off with somebody else. Not quite as tragic. Carry on, next up, whatever. But the deal is there are outside threats that could go at you. But say in that situation, let's use that. That's a little less dramatic than the plane crash. You marry somebody, end up getting divorced because they found somebody else who they were unfaithful. Do you stop and say, my life is over, I'll never have another relationship? Or do you heal and carry on, learn, grow, and go, okay, what can I learn from this? What went wrong? Is there something I could have done differently? Is there something I could have made a different choice? Is there some warning signs I should have seen? Or was that person just plain asshole? I mean, it could be any of the above, but the fact is, did you learn? And that's where you win. Even if a threat gets you and takes you down temporarily or it's a pitfall, you're going to learn and grow. You still win. See, this is what this is all about, guys. I want you winning in life. I want you loving life, winning in life, and going forward. All it's about is to make life better for you and the ones around you. Leave this world a little better than you found it each day. This is what we're after. Now, what about threats on the other side? Right, using other people and to collaborate with you here. How can you minimize their threats? Give them more stability in working with you on the project or whatever it is. But also, how can they minimize your threats? Okay, again, using the accountant example. I'm not a tax expert. I'm pretty good at understanding it, and I've got it, but guess what? I'm not the expert. He's the one that's watching out and making sure, hey, this is not a valid write-off, or you're missing a very serious valid write-off here, or you're not doing, this depreciation. I may not have known about taking depreciation on some of the assets, or how to do it, and the hours spent on it. So that minimizes my threats there. An attorney, hey, I want to, put together a new contract, or I'm putting together a new deal. Was it bad to have an attorney review that? Instead of going, well, I'll save the $100 on having document review or $200 and have it cost you thousands or take you down at the knees, use your attorney to minimize your threats. That $150, $200 you might spend with them might save you thousands or your entire business or whatever. So those are the things you look at and go, how do I use my highest and best use with my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? And how do I delegate my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to other people who can handle that for me, but in the same process of not only having them help me in a way that they're growing too. When you get all that put together, everybody's winning. We leave the world a little bit better each day when we put our heads on our pillows at night. And I'm not going into the philosophy of, oh, ohm, the world's perfect. No, there's a lot of crap going on these days. There's a lot. But if everybody took the time out to do some personal growth and personal development and took some time out to understand others and contribute a little bit and help people, others grow, wow, how different would the world be? We're getting there. It's just getting out there. And that's why I'm doing this. I'm not coming woo woo, I'm going to float around the room and everything's fine and, we're going to throw dust and confetti and go, the world's all just fine and dandy. It's not. There's a lot of challenges we're dealing with, but when you got tools to deal with it, and you've got a mission, and you've got a vision, and you've got things that you want to do, and you want to help people, and you want to really grow something great in this world, whether it's your family, your relationships, your businesses, a nonprofit, just show up at work better, this is the way to do it. And if you're loving what we're doing here, please share it. Get it out there for me. Let's help more and more people. If you need help with it, or you got some stopping blocks, or you're in trouble, you might be in a bad, dark-ass place right now, reach out. This is what coaching is for. This is what we're here for. These videos might be something you're just going, hey, I'm getting some cool free education out of this, and it's working, and I'm using it, and I get it, and I'm applying it every day. That's awesome. And you might be going, this is all great, Lou. Hey, this sounds great, but I just can't do it. I just can't get out of this, or I'm in a bad, dark spot, or I'm in trouble, hey, reach out. Get a coaching session. Let's bust through that stuff. Let's make it happen. So Revitalize Life is our website. Connect with us there, see the replays, see the training videos. And I think this live might even trump the training video this morning now that we've done it. This is pretty impactful. I hope this has had some great impact on you. Please let me know. And I'm going to cut you here and cut you loose to go to work. You do what you got to do because I have gone over time this morning. And you guys live with energy, passion, always live your dream. Lots of love from Coach Lou and the team here at Revitalize Life. Have an amazing day, guys. We'll see you soon.